Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. Today we are going to have a pairing and we're going to go for one of our Avics. So basically what happens here in the Beastie Room is we breed our spiders, and then once we've had a successful egg sac, or sometimes even when we don't get a successful egg sac, whatever happens is we try and cycle our females so they go the full cycle without putting too much pressure on them. And this is one of the reasons why I always say to you guys, always get your spiders up to their optimum fitness. We want them as fit as possible. So when we pair our spiders, they should have good weight to them, and they should be looking in their very best. And by doing it this way, we can then attempt to pair them, and then hopefully if that pairing takes and we get a viable egg sac, it's not taking too much goodness out of our female. So it's very, very important that she is in the optimum condition we can possibly get her to be in. And by doing that, we are making her life better. We are prolonging her life as well. She's not going through the rigors that she would do in the wild. In the wild state, even if they're a little bit under the underweight or whatever, if a male happens to come along, there's a good chance they're going to pair, and it's quite possible that they will still produce an egg sac, but our female isn't going to be as fit as she could be. So I would imagine in the wild state, a number of females die through being in ill condition prior to pairing and prior to having an egg sac. And this goes on to the theory that that many people have about the females eating the male, and this is probably, and to some extent it may be true. I don't believe it's the fundamental reason as to why a female kills the male. I don't believe that, because we have a very, very high success rate on our males. Most of the time they survive. We're around about 97% of our males make it out alive and go on to pair other females, some of them multiple females. So I don't believe that it's an inborn thing. But that being said, in the wild state, our females most probably aren't in the kind of condition that our females here are in. So the chances are they are going to be a little bit underweight. They may well be hungry, and there is a good opportunity for a female to get a good meal just prior to laying that egg sac. So in the wild state, there is probably a little bit of weight to that theory, but in captivity, I don't believe so. I think we're showing a different way, and just with our success rate alone, there's so many things to look for when we're pairing to make sure that we get that ideal pairing. Now then, we're going to pair our Avic today, and we've got a number of these females, and we've got a number of males here at the moment as well. So we're going to pair one of them today, and we're going to see how it goes and see what kind of reaction that we get. Generally speaking, the Avics, they're more lovers than killers, so fingers crossed, we will see. So anyway, enough of me rambling on. Let's have a little look and see how it all went, and I will see you soon. Hope you enjoy. Well, here we are, getting ready to introduce our male. As you can see, our female has webbed the entire top of this enclosure up. You can just about see the tub coming into view now on the right hand side. Here comes our male. Now, a funny thing with our little male Avics, they are very reluctant to leave the pot. He's like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. He's like, just get in there, go on. Do your thing. You'll be pleased you did. Here we go. We've turned him round. He's just going to hang there now. Now this is one of the things now, once we get our male to this point, we just need to let him settle down for a minute. Let him get his bearings, get his faculties together. Notice our female hasn't moved at all. She's just sitting there. And what we're hoping for is that they're going to actually pair on top of this webbing. That would be nice. we might actually get to see what's going on. Now it's a bit of a tense moment now, because we don't really know how our female is going to react. You see our male's not giving any signs of anything either. This is quite normal. Quite often a male, when he's first put into the female's enclosure, he will freeze. He's not sure what's going on. He doesn't know where he is. So he just freezes. Now when this happens, we can give them a certain amount of time to try and work things out. And every now and again, we need to just give them a little nudge in the right direction. But you have to be very, very careful how you would go about this. Because the last thing we need is our male darting off straight into the arms of our female, who then will probably take this as an assault on her home and promptly attack him. So we have to be very, very careful how we go about getting our male to do anything. As you can see there, we've just let him be at the moment. He's not moved a muscle. Now our female is on the move. So this is the time now to really be ready. She could literally spring into action at any moment. So we're looking for any kind of posture changing within her. As you see there at the moment, she's looking reasonably relaxed. What a beautiful spider. Here she comes. And you can see by the way she's moving that she's not particularly worried by anything. She's very, very relaxed. Our male still hasn't moved. Here we go. You notice how she's skirting around the outside. She's not gone directly towards him. They obviously know one another is there. Loving them little white flecks on the end of the hairs there. Give her a really, really cool appearance. Now our male is literally frozen solid. He's either sulking or he's terrified. We're not quite sure which. So I think we're going to have to try and get him to do something. Now look at the corner of the bottom right hand corner, you'll see the web is just moving. See that moving there? Now that is me blowing very, very gently on the other side of the enclosure to get our male just to move. And when I say blowing on him, we are literally the faintest of movement. Here we go. You see that? He touched her and she sprung round straight away. Our male was confident. He stayed put. See how he's changed it now? He's made her back up. He's put her back in her place. It's at times like this when many people would jump in because they would see that as an aggressive behaviour. It wasn't aggressive at all. See how our male is hanging on with his back legs there. He's maintaining contact so that he can literally pull himself out of trouble if need be. See the tibial hooks on the male? Very obvious. Now look, she's drumming away now. This is a good sign. She's very, very keen. You know, it's our male there. He's drumming as well. You see how he's pulling the web up? He's making some very forceful manoeuvres. Now we've come down to the front now so we can see what our female is doing because she literally tucked her head down. But as you can see, she is drumming away like the clappers. Now this drumming was very loud. It really did resonate around the enclosure. You see our male in the background there. Notice how he's maintained contact. He's still got a foot on her. He's got 2 feet on her actually by the look of it. And you can see how he's sort of pouring away at the webbing there. It's a very, very delicate manoeuvre from him. that is constantly telling her what's going on. Now she's still drumming away like mad there. And you can see our male there, he's literally pouring away at her abdomen then, and he's now backing off a little bit. He wants her to come back towards him. Why she's gone down the front there, we will never really know. You can see that he's got a little bit about him that's not 100% satisfied that all is going to go well. You notice he's ready to do the off at the slightest opportunity. You see how spread his legs are? He's getting maximum purchase from all around him. See how those rear legs are almost straight? They will act like springs should he need to reverse out very quickly. Now we can tell by the angle of our spider's legs will give us a really good indication as to what that spider intends to do. So it's always important to check out the angle of the legs. See what they look like when they're resting, when they're walking, whether they're under pressure. The angle of the leg will tell you so much. There's an awful lot of information within those legs. You can see how he's pouring away still at the webbing there. And she's determined to go down the front of the thing. This is literally the front of the enclosure where she is, and the door is open, so she can wander out if needs be. Oh, there she goes. And we change the angle now, and we can see how she's climbed underneath. And now you see how she's drumming on the web. This is really, really cool stuff. But it's upset our male a little bit. Look, he's none too keen on the idea of this, so he's looking for a way out. Here she comes. Looks like she's keen to get back on top of the web now. The foreplay of these spiders is fascinating. We often used to think that a lot of what they done was vying for position, but I don't necessarily think that is true anymore. There's much more going on. See how she's still receptive? She's calling him back. She's like, where have you gone? He did in fact wander off outside the enclosure, had a little walk around the sides and come up the back of the enclosure, which is where he's coming in now. And you see there how he made that contact, that first contact, very, very important. But she already knows he's there, so we're already halfway there. She's also receptive, and you can see how keen they are now. Here we go. Now we've locked. This is the part of the courtship that we're looking for. This is where insemination is going to take place. There you go. You see how he's pulling her in? There we go. Now you know now by the way the Avics are behaving, he is inseminating as we speak. Although we can't actually see it, we know from past experiences how they hold and how they sit. We know that he is in fact, as it's gone so still there, he will be inseminating her. If he was still looking for the epigastric furrow, he would have been shaking and moving around. You can see there he's actually solid, he's still. He is inseminating as we speak. Now you can see our female, look, she's pushing him towards the side. She's literally forcing him over. Very subtly, but she's forcing him over. You see he's still maintaining that grip. He's still got a hold of her. He's easing off now. Now this is from the other angle. This is what we saw from the other side. This is from our iPhone, and we can see there now how he's actually managed to get underneath her. What? It's all gone. There you go. He's out. He's out of it. What are you doing? Wow. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. You'll see there that all the spiders that we pair, we've done many pairing videos now on this channel, and we're constantly doing them. We're constantly breeding, and each pairing shows something a little different. But you will see certain similarities within certain breeds, certain genus of spiders, where there are similarities, and we can learn from those similarities, and we can work out what's going on. Now, it does make me laugh. You see, often or not, if we open up an Avic male, open his tub up on the desk here, just to have a look at him, to water him or feed him or whatever, 9 times out of 10, he can't wait to get out. And they literally will climb out straight up your hand. They'll do everything. They're all over the place. As soon as it comes to pairing, they're like, no, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in there. And you're like, come on, go. And eventually we persuade them to go. But yeah, very funny how their total change in attitude. It's almost like they know. So yeah, that's one thing that we've noticed very much so, especially with our Avics. The males are very reluctant to go in at first. Once they're in, there's no stopping them. They don't hang about. But you would have seen in this one today, there was many things. The female was she was very receptive. So she was calling our male on all the time. He was a little bit tentative at first, but he got there in the end, and we ended up with a successful pairing. But you saw that little bit at the end, and I left that in there because it's very interesting to see and show a little bit of like what we do. And we went from being a really calm, steady pairing to all of a sudden, as he tried to back away, she sort of like took a little lunge for him. And this is quite often what happens, and it's another good example as to why when we're pairing our spiders, we always make sure the lid's off, we make sure the front door is open, and we allow them to explode into the room should they wish to. And this is all to help our male survive. And as you would have seen there, we changed the angle. When I was filming on my main camera, they started to push over to the side and we started to lose sight of what was going on. The only thing being, you could see that the female was actually pushing our male. So she was pushing him into the side, almost nailing him to the wall. And you could see he was sort of trying to squirm back and get out of it a little bit. He was on his way. He could feel a little bit uncomfortable. And then you see, in the end, it got all a bit too much and he bolted and he went down the hole. We added a little bit of footage that I was also filming with my phone, with my iPhone. And that's the piece of footage that you saw at the end. And when it all kicked off and they all went, it all went a little bit hairy, you'll see there that I was trying to do 2 cameras and trying to get my paintbrush. And luckily we managed to just dig down and we just forced our female back out of the way, give our male a chance to go. He literally went down into the corner, down through the web and out the bottom, and we managed to stop our female on the top. So always, if you need to try and save a male, don't worry about trying to get hold of your male. Concentrate on the female. She is the aggressor. As sometimes we've managed to pin a female flat to the floor with a paintbrush. So if this was the female, we get our paintbrush, we hold our paintbrush, this is the female, and we literally straight on top of her like that, and we pin her to the floor. She cannot go anywhere now. In the couple of seconds that we've got her pinned to the floor like that, our male is gone. He's out of it and safe. So it's very important. If we were to try and maneuver our male, she has got free rein to attack at any chance that she gets. And quite often you will disable the male. By accident, you're messing it up for him. He's just looking to try and escape. He's not only escaping her, he's trying to escape you as well now. So always, when you're going in, if you have to intervene, always aim your attention at the female. She is the aggressor. The male just wants to get going. He just wants to disappear. So concentrate on your females, and that way you will have more males survive. So it's just a tiny little tip there. Just always concentrate on your female. She's the bit that's bad news at the end of the day. But as you saw there, our male was gone. He went completely unscathed, absolutely fine. He's in perfect health, and he's back in his pot. In actual fact, we got him here. Here he is. He's up here now. There we go. There you go. There's our male. He's sitting there now. So what we will do now is we will wait. This is a 32 ounce deli pot, and these are ideal for things like our Avic males. What you will find, if it was a Versi male, he will need a slightly bigger pot. They're a little bit too big to be in one of these, but these are ideal. And what we do is we just put a simple piece of bark in there, so he's got somewhere to hide behind, and this also gives him somewhere to build his sperm web. And as soon as he's built his sperm web, it'll only be a day or two. He'll get that done. We'll make sure that he's got plenty to drink, make sure he has a bite to eat as well. We'll give him a little roach, and with our males, we're looking at giving them small feeds. We don't want to intimidate them, we just want them to grab it and eat it. So we give them small feeds. So something like that, an Avic male, we will give him a female red runner. That is more than enough. Plenty of food. What we're looking at is getting nutrients and getting some fluid into him. And a big fat female red runner does just the job. So that will get him back up where we need him to be, and he'll be raring to go. So within a week's time, we compare him with her again. The second time round, we have to be very, very careful. We're going to be really, really on the ball and make sure that we see how our female is going to react, because sometimes if she's had a really good pairing and she has been inseminated, her reaction can quite often be rather aggressive. She's not interested in any more male suitors. She just wants to be left alone. So we have to be really, really careful. Keep an eye on her, monitor what's going on, be ready to intervene if necessary, give them plenty of space, and all should be well. It's very rare to lose an Avic male. And that being said, really, if you're keen to start your journey into the breeding of tarantulas, the Avic is a very, very good one to start with, because they are generally really good and easy to pair. So then there's not too many problems with them, and they drop sacks nice and easy. You don't have to think too much. There's very, very basic guidelines that you can follow, but then parameters are really wide, so you stand the best chance of success, which is what it's all about. That's where you need to learn. You know, you learn from the easy stuff, and then you gradually gets harder and harder and harder until eventually, you know, we end up looking at things that can't be bred. So there you go. There's the challenge. If it can't be bred, why not? We need to find out. So we go on that journey and we see if we can find out. Sometimes we're successful and sometimes we're not. But when it comes to the really difficult ones, we can often share information with other hobbyists and find out little bits and pieces, find out what they're doing, tell them what we're doing. And we can, between us all, we can normally crack the problem, and we can find out what's going on, and we can successfully breed these things. And there's some very, very clever people out there, some really, really good breeders that have wonderful success with different species of spiders. So it's all out there. It's just there for the taking. And we just need to share what we learn, and then everyone will end up becoming better and getting on. You know, they'll be able to breed their own spiders, which should be the aim, really, at the end of the day. This is what we hope everyone will do. If they can breed their own spiders, we can sustain our own hobby. Very, very important going forward. Right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully now, within a couple of months, we should, in theory, get an egg sac. And another 30 days from there, we could be looking at eggs with legs, or maybe we'll leave it in with her, let it hatch inside the enclosure. We've got a number of spiders on egg sacs at the moment. So there's constantly something going on in the room. There's always something, you know, breeding or sitting on an egg sac or preparing to drop an egg sac. We've still got, we've still got three Metallicas that simply refuse to drop. They look like they're going to burst, but they're just refusing to drop. And yet they got paired the same time as the other two that we bred, and we've had egg sacs, and we've actually had youngsters off them. So these are really holding out. and everything was done the same for all of them. So why haven't these three dropped their egg sacs? These are the questions we need to answer, and only time will tell, and hopefully we will find out the little clues that will let us in to see what's going on with those particular spiders. So yeah, we will just have to watch them, see what happens. Right then, I hope you enjoyed that, and don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spiders. And I will see you soon, guys.